Beavs adding a little sauce to their non-conference. Well, I guess their football schedules. I was going to say non-conference, but their football schedule is moving up. Home and Homes announced yesterday with Kansas State and Houston. A little bit more Big 12 love that the Beavs got on their schedule moving forward.
Remember, there was the discussion about the possible SEC because of the windows that they had and keeping things going for another year. But this is not bad.
No. So 2025, 2026, so next year and the following season, the Houston Cougars will be going to Reser Stadium in 2025, and then 26, the Beavs will head to Houston. Because college football is stupid, 2030 and 2031, the Beavs will go to Manhattan in 30 and 31, the return trip to Corvallis in 31. But if you look at it and you look at kind of the way that Oregon State has been working this schedule, you've got next season, okay, in 2025 alone, they've got Texas Tech and Houston on the schedule, so two Big 12 teams. 2026, again, Houston and Texas Tech. And then you add Kansas State to it, getting a little bit of a little relationship with Big 12 country there. I think it's good. I mean, these are in what I like about what Oregon State is doing is that they're not scheduling Bama. They're not scheduling Ohio State,
Georgia,
or Texas, or Georgia, right?
That's not going to do you any good.
They're going Texas Tech, Houston, Kansas State. Those are all games where middle of the pack Big 12 teams and, upper mid.
Sure.
I mean, Kansas State was good last year.
Yeah, and if you show you can hang.
Keep yourself relevant. Keep yourself relevant as long as you can. But as it looks next year, Beavs have got now Cal, Fresno State, Texas Tech, Oregon, Houston on the schedule. We know that Washington State will be added to that 2025. That gives you 6, and then boom, you it's just a matter of where that Washington State game is, and then you have your Mountain West hybrid games. 2026, Houston, Texas Tech, San Diego State, and then likely Oregon will be on there in 2026. There's got to be some jostling of the schedule and figuring out the times and when that works out for both of the schools. And then Washington State, and then boom, you get your Mountain West schools that'll backfill that. This year was the big one where it's like the stress of how do you make this schedule and how do you fill these games in such short order. Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see, all right, there is a plan where it's not just going to be a tried and true Mountain West schedule. You have got some solid teams and solid games mixed in there against good competition that you're not irrelevant. I think that
you're not going to get
moves.
Run out of the stadium 70-0.
But and also you're not packing it with MAC or Sun Belt or Big Sky teams just to find games and fill games.
About.
You are finding games that people will want to go to. People are going to want to go to Reser Stadium, and your fan base is going to be interested in going to some of those places. Like, well, I'll tell you, Lubbock, Texas, not a destination city by any means. On a Saturday, on game day, it's fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And now you may get a tortilla thrown at you, but that's okay.
Perhaps
who doesn't love a good tortilla?
Perhaps even a wet tortilla.
Yeah, balled up. Nah, they save those for just chucking those at the sidelines. It's dangerous. I don't think they do that in the stands. But all of the fans that I talked to before and after the game were great. Yeah, Lubbock was a lot of fun. During the game, it was not.
No, I used to.
It was actually a lot of fun.
I was in San Angelo, in Texas, and I used to drive the hour-ish plus drive from San Angelo to Lubbock to go up there and catch games.
Well, you weren't going to Texas State games? You weren't going to watch the Bobcats
or
much?
San Angelo State? Yeah, no, it was good.
Again,
this is 2002.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that one either. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Hard pass.
Well, it's good for the Beavs to have those games on the schedule, and they're finding those opponents. And for the Big Sky, Big 12 teams, they're trying to find equal competition as well. And Oregon State is that where the Beavs for this year and next year, we can't emphasize enough how important these next 2 years are for Oregon State moving forward. And I'm sure that, 2027 and moving forward, there's a lot of outs in any of these to say, hey, we get into a conference, we're going to move on. and we won't be able to honor this contract. But as it stands right now, no problem finding those games and those competitions. It's good for the Beavs. It is really
It
good.
is, and if you build that relationship with the Big 12, it might be an opportunity to continue that relationship going forward. It is a little bit crazy, though, when you look at these schedules, man. They have a game with Kansas State in 2031.
Yeah, that's why I say it's just stupid.
It's
dumb.
Come on, man. Like that. Okay, let's put this in perspective. That kid right now is 10 or 11 years old coming onto campus as a freshman.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
It doesn't make sense. And it's my long-standing gripe with college football. And I think that whatever the next iteration of college football looks like, they're going to have to take all of these schedules, tear them up.
Burn them down to the ground.
And there needs to be uniform scheduling. Every conference has to play 9 games. The SEC cannot have 15 years, a decade and a half, where Georgia does not go to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot do that. You had one more conference game, and that gets cut drastically.
It gets cut in half.
It's beyond ridiculous that's the way that college football is governed right now. But uniform scheduling and then dictating matchups, like a college football czar, dictating a matchup.
Doing what the NFL does. The best teams end up playing the better competition, the tougher schedule.
We will see who's who throughout the course of the season, because it doesn't do, Ohio State any good to go and play Cal.
To Toledo.
Like those good, that doesn't, I'm just talking like even the power conference games where you're sitting there like, well, we got a Power 5 win. It's like, well, did you? Like, take the top against the top and then you sort it on down. And look, the conference can even, scale who they believe are going to be at the top end, your top tier, middle tier, and bottom tier teams. And
we're usually not that far off on most of these.
You take those 3, and especially if it's tiers, like who knows who's going to finish 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
But if you go top 4, middle 4, bottom 4,
it's usually not that hard. Now you might get a year where a team catches fire. That's fine, but that's the exception, not the rule.
And that's good on them, though. If you sit there
and
you
took advantage of it and
hey,
they ran it.
They played the middle tier of the Big Ten, played the middle tier of the SEC, and look at what this team did.
Yep.
They absolutely mopped the floor with them.
They
had a damn good year.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's the way scheduling should be moving forward, but it's just dumb that it's not. Also, little news on Damian Martinez. He has an in-home visit scheduled with Miami. Mario Cristobal. That is actually that's a really good fit for him. Downhill, variety of scheme in their run game. It's not going to be the Miami Hurricanes or the Mario Cristobal offenses that we saw at Oregon or his first couple years at Miami. They're going to be forced to throw the ball more. There's been the edict has been thrown down. Cristobal cannot operate the way that he has at Oregon and at Miami in the first couple of years because the results just aren't there. They're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, let's figure something out.
And even with a little bit more of an air attack in Miami's offense, Damian Martinez, that is a money fit for him at the University of Miami. I know B fans don't want to hear that.
But it is.
The Dems to breaks, though. So there's the update on Damian Martinez. The Beavs have got their spring showcase coming up this Saturday. It'll be on the Pac-12 network, and Nigel Burton will be part of the call for the Pac-12.